What's up, guys? Today I figured I'd make a video on something I recently discovered and thought kind of cool, kind of unique. So for any of you that have already watched some of my videos, you'll know I do the videos on Railworks, but I also do Trainz 2019, and it's a nice break from Railworks' issues, might be a good way to put it, with all their out of memory errors I like to get with them. So, but I was digging through Trainz Forge, and a lot of you that fiddle with trains probably know of the site. It's a lot of excellent freeware content. I'll be putting a link down in the description, but I was digging around. I had to reset my computer. I was re-downloading all my free stuff that they had, and I saw this in the store, and I thought it was kind of cool, kind of unique. Just looking from the pictures, the whole little model intrigued me. It is not based on a real, actual locomotive, to my knowledge, according to their little dialogue with the locomotive. It's a fictional model for, I'm guessing, a fictional railroad that they might release at some point. I don't know, but it is the, let's see if I can zoom in here and read this. I'm probably gonna butcher this word, so please don't hurt me over it, but it is the Umpqua River Railroad and Navigation Company 042, named Buttercup. Now, there are a lot of freeware one-off models available for trains, a bunch of oddballs or just generic items, but I found this locomotive unique because of this right here. This right here is an oscillating steam drive. So I actually should have put a regular steam locomotive here so that you guys could see the difference, but essentially, instead of having fixed cylinders right here and a main drive rod that would run from the cylinders to one of the drive wheels, which would then be connected by this main rod, by this drive rod here, the drive rod is connected directly to the piston by a piston shaft right here, and the whole cylinder here rotates up and down while driving the drive wheels. And it's been done. You see it a lot, especially with real world model kits, live steam models, especially smaller ones, where they'll have a little oscillating drive like that. But I had never ever seen it done in simulation at all, period. Never seen it in MSTS, I've never seen it in trains, not Railworks, not anything. So I saw this and I thought, well, shoot, I'm going to pick it up and try it out. And I was not disappointed at all. I love this thing. This thing is excellent. It's excellent modeled. But, excuse me. I don't have the backstory pulled up on it, but essentially the idea behind it is it's a shop locomotive that was built out of a bunch of spare parts and such laying around, and it lasted for a few years as a shop locomotive, and it was sold, subsequently scrapped, turned back into a parts pile. But I don't use it for that. I actually like to use it for small scenic railroads, kind of like this. The Wanamaker, I guarantee you I just butchered that, but the Wanamaker scenic railroad that is available from Approach Medium. But I love using this locomotive for this. It's perfect size, perfect little oddity. So let's dive into the cooler details of it. Now, move it so that you guys can see the oscillating drive in a second. But with the pack, you'll get two models. You'll get the as-built model, and then you'll get a modified model, which I will show you guys in a second. It's back down the line back there, but the as delivered, as we see here, it's got these big giant box headlights that look so oversized for this locomotive, but it actually's got a lot of fine detail for it, and the whole pack was only $5. So you can't go wrong for a nice DLC for $5, especially to support a site that puts out excellent freeware pretty regularly. But $5 pack, you get two models, and the detail on them is quite nice. It's hard to really get in close, but instead of what we see with a lot of the older models with the flat objects and then just the photographic textures, they actually have 3D rivets, 3D staples, 3D parts, which is really cool. And it has this look to it that looks like something cobbled together, which is different. For those of you that like me that really like logging railroads, this locomotive will fit in excellently on a logging railroad, because logging railroads in the United States were well known for building stuff, whatever would fit their need, or modifying stuff to fit their need, because every logging railroad was different, and this has that look to it. It's just homemadeness about it. Now this thing is not fast. Those of you looking for high speed, you're not getting a high speed locomotive out of this. These things will, I don't know how actual fast, I think at 100% it'll do 25 mile an hour, but they're good for these little slow routes like this. Good looking, nice texture, nice crispy lines, no odd off-centered stuff that shouldn't belong that I see, and the weathering on it is quite nice too. It looks believable, you know, the dust patches, the grime up here, and it does have its own little cab, which is an odd thing to see in Trainz Z. Can you fiddle with all the... Yeah. Most of it looks like it is functioning too, which is kind of cool. Different, neat. Now, I do not play in cab on Trainz, so excuse me for not knowing how any of this works in here. I'd never in my life use the cab model on Trainz. For me, I come to play Trainz whenever I want something relatively simple, or want to fiddle around with some route designing, or just have some background noise while I read. It's a good game for that. But for those of you that do like to play in the cabs of Trainz, it does have a custom cab model it looks done pretty well. I mean, it does have some older look to it. Instead of a more crispy curve, we just see the straight lines, straight little octagon, hexagon lines, which kind of stand out like a sore thumb when you look at something like this, and it has a much more round look to it. But I'm not gonna nitpick. Trainz is known for its more model railroading capabilities, the more virtual model railroad, so to speak, so I don't nitpick on it about that. I'm more worried about the external model when it comes to Trainz. And externally, this is a great looking little locomotive. It is oil fired, so you will want a route that's got oil fuel capabilities. Now the one thing that I found with this that maybe I'm just not seeing, that won't make a lot of sense, but I'm guessing this is your water tender, Where's the oil go? Where's your oil fire go? There's fire oil. Sorry, I got that backwards. But your fire oil. That is probably the one thing about this concept that I don't see. There's no tank for the oil. There's no nothing really. It's a cool concept overall, but where do you put the oil? Runs on hopes and dreams, but there's the as delivered model. Here we'll jump back to the rebuilt model. Now the rebuilt model, as we can see, has already got one of the issues I just addressed remedied, so to speak. Saddle tanks. Saddle tanks for our, I'm guessing, either A, the oil, or B, the water. And I'll move it, part of our little showcase driving, and I'll move it up here so you guys can see a comparison of the two right next to each other. But that's the number one right off the bat that you'll see that's different. And then number two will be the headlights. The headlights are different. Now, in my opinion, the headlights on the other model make this model look bigger than this particular version of it. This particular version to me looks smaller, and I think it's because of the way the headlights are. But once again, it's got this homemade look about it. Like these headlights right here, they look like literal spotlights that were just strapped onto it, or maybe a random locomotive headlight that was just laying around. But again, still got this oscillating steam drive to it that is just too cool. It's too cool to watch. Now these are loud, so I'm sorry if you guys are having a lot of trouble hearing me, but these suckers are loud just sitting here idling, which is cool. They sound good. Steam locomotives are loud idling. You hear the air pumps going off right now. That's how it is. They're loud. They're oil pumps, I'm sorry. But the pumps going off. They're loud. But here's a whistle. The whistle leaves a bit to be desired. I'm not gonna lie. The whistle I kind of was sad about, but it's Trainz. It's ridiculously easy to swap whistles out. But the whistle is that typical single chime, old time style whistle that we have heard on every single old time 440 and 460 and 260 Virginia and Truckee model, or Central Pacific or UP model that has ever been put for Trainz. But yeah, there it is. It's not great. However, I'm not gonna dock it for that, because like I said, it's ridiculously easy to add whatever whistle you want to Trainz. It makes Railworks look like an outright joke when it comes to adding sounds, but moving sounds around on this game is so easy, so I'm not gonna dock it. I do like the bell though. The bell makes sense. Big old brass bell. It sounds like a big old brass bell, and it's in sync. So that's a nice little touch. Turn on our headlights. The headlights again, they're alright. They're not stellar. I'll do this so that I can rotate. Guess I'm gonna have to pull it up. There we go. So yeah, the headlights are not outstanding. It looks like a little off-center bulb in here, which is alright, but it's not great. It's not the best. Now, I do like the fact that it's not just this big LED glare going off in front of you like some other content available for Trainz, but it's still a little not too great, not too shabby, just kind of meh. But That is another odd irk. So your first couple notches, as we can see, the locomotive's moving, but the wheels are not. Now this isn't even a whole mile an hour, obviously, but it's still odd, I guess. You know, so there's 15, so there's a mile an hour. Now the wheels start to move, and they look out of sync. It looks like there. Now it kind of takes a second to catch up to how fast the model itself is physically moving versus the wheels moving. But now we can see that oscillating steam drive here that I was giggling over. Let me get rid of that HUD there so that you guys can see. But there's that oscillating drive. See how the cylinder jumps up, down. Too cool, in my opinion. It is too cool. It's so neat to watch. Now, like I said, this locomotive's not fast. This was built to be a little shop switcher. And also have another issue. Hold up. Something I've always had issues with Trainz Forge is payware, but if I don't scroll through the operating options, the wheels will move way faster than it's actually going. That's better. It's like a second ago, it looked like these wheels were going a whole lot faster than 7 miles an hour. I don't know what it is. It does it. All of my Trainz Forge stuff does it. But if you have that issue and know how to fix it, please let me know. I have no idea. But yeah, it's a really cool little model. For $5, you can't go wrong. You really can't. It's such a great little, like a museum locomotive, like one of the smaller budget museums that you would see in like the museum in San Antonio, Texas. They've got a little small tank steam locomotive and a little 45-ton diesel switcher that does their little tours up a quarter-mile track. This would fit in just fine there. It would fit in a shop scene or wherever. And shoot, you could use it as a logger, like I said. But I love it. Now, I intend to swap the whistles out. I didn't do it yet because I planned on doing this video for it. But I wanted to do the video as untouched so that you could see what you'll be buying with it instead of my modified version. And somebody go, it didn't sound like that. I didn't modify it, I promise. I will be later on. But this is what you'll get. It's just too cool. Too cool, I think. And they have a couple other items for this railroad in their freeware page, like this caboose and this snowplow over there that'll go with it. But I don't know of anything else that they have that go with this road name. But now you guys can kind of see these headlights almost make this model look bigger, in my opinion. But yeah, see our tanks. You got your saddle tanks here for, I assume, either the water or the oil in one of the two places, but we don't have anything over here. I don't see anywhere for the oil to go, unless maybe I'm crazy and just blind. But that was my one complaint. I'm not trying to nitpick. It just, like I said, it's a freelanced model. It's not based on anything real. It's just one of those weird things I noticed. But yeah, there it is. Pick it up at Trainz Forge. You'll like it. I will link the site for the model in the description. Hope you guys like it. Enjoy. Later.